It's day 4 of the World Cup preview marathon, as we have been calling it, and we've done with three teams. A lot of detailed discussion, a lot of news has come in regarding the World Cup. Today was the last day to select the squads, and we are going to talk about a team today who has made the World Cup appearances, but in the time which we were just born, or maybe we were just toddlers, and then they were playing in the World Cup. Which team has played in the 1999 World Cup or 96, and they have played 2003, 2007, 2011. And as you can see at the top, it's the Flying Dutchman. As the title says, it's the Netherlands who have made it once again with some strong performances in the qualifiers, and now they look to stumble upon a few teams. We can't take them lightly. A few very talented players in this squad, some very familiar, some very new. So we'll look at them and we'll give you each detail. Pritam, the Netherlands, party poopers, or how do you see them this tournament?
They have real quality, to be honest. And we will look at them, or most of the teams will look at them as small side, but because of the rankings, but they have quality throughout the squad. They know the responsibilities each and every individual has amongst them, and that's the reason why they're going to be a team which will be very excited to be watched out, because they will, I guess, be used to, or be well suited playing in Indian conditions. Before that, welcome everyone to the once again the fourth day marathon, as Aryan said, to the fifth umpire and the directed live show. We still have six more teams, if I'm not mistaken. So it's fourth team. It is the Dutchman. It is the man in orange. It is Netherlands, whom I'm going to talk about. But before we continue proceedings, I'm going to bring in the guest this time from today's proceedings. He's all the way behind us, and it's early in the morning for him, all the way at 11:30 a.m. from Atlanta. I'll introduce Deep. Deep, welcome to the show for the first time. How does it feel? Do let us know first time in the live show of the fifth umpire directed also on the marathon of the World Cup.
Yeah, first of all, the cricket carnival is here. So, all the cricket fans, we have to come together to produce something that will be beneficial for all the cricket community. And I am grateful that you called me, and it's a privilege to talk to all the cricket fans. And I'm looking forward to this discussion on Netherlands because they are considered the underdogs, but I'm hoping that they will at least produce one win, if not two or three.
Definitely, definitely, they are. They have a good talent. They have really good squad to at least win. At least we are expecting more wins, but we'll definitely have a discussion about that. We'll begin proceedings. Aryan, it's over to you to begin the proceedings for the day. It is none other than the squad, and we'll look into squad. Aryan, talk about the batsman, vast experience in the first line as we start
Yes.
proceedings. What about the openers to
Okay.
be very first?
Okay, so I start with the man on the far left. That's the captain, Scotty Edwards, or Scott Edwards as they call him. He's also going to be keeping the stumps. And then you have the two openers, very dangerous. One of them is Max O'Dowd, who likes to play at a higher strike rate. And then very our own Vikramjeet Singh, very classical player, and plays shots all around the ground. Then this guy, if the Netherlands has to do well, has to produce a result, the name I'm going to take right now has to do well for them. It's not even that if and buts. It's a confirmed guarantee that this guy will have the biggest impact for them. It's past Deleda. His dad Tim Deleda also played for Netherlands, and now he's carrying on the legacy. He was the star of the qualifiers with the bat, with the ball, smashed them all. And then you've got Scott Edwards. Wesley Baresi is also very old player. Then you go through the squad. Ackerman, Teja is also there. A few of the Indian origin players. I'm also in the team. If you can see, where am I? I should be. Yeah, if you can see on the bottom right, there's another Aryan in the team, but that's not me. It's Aryan Dutt. So good squad all around. Deep thoughts on the squad overall, and how much did you follow them in the qualifiers?
I think they have added some experienced players, three or four new names that were not a part of their World Cup qualifiers. So they have added Vanden Merwe, which is a really good addition. Then there is a guy called Cybrent. Here you can see him in the South African jersey. He is going to be the trump card for them in this particular World Cup. Then They have added another guy, Colin Ackerman. He was also not there in the World Cup qualifier squad, and then they have added one bowler, which is Paul Van Meekeren, who was also not there. So they had Fred Klaassen earlier in the qualifiers, so he got injured. So overall, it's a very good squad, and strategically, if I have to compare, it's similar to how India have announced their squad. So they have all the pieces very similar to India squad. So you can name their 10 out of 11 players, but we have to have a lot of discussion on who that 11th player will be. It's very similar to India's number 8. They have given so many options. We don't know whether it will be Ravi Ashwin or Shardul Thakur. Similarly, they have a pacer, they have a spinner, they have a batting all-rounder, bowling all-rounder. So they have given all kind of options. So let's see when we'll discuss the strengths, weaknesses, then we can go into the details.
Definitely. And like you said about these players who are definitely coming back to the squad, Paul Van Meekeren was not part of the qualifiers because of injury, but he was there last year in the T20 World Cup. A fantastic fast bowler who is recently playing in different domestic leagues. Do you think his inclusion will definitely give a lot of experience to the Netherlands team? Also, as Aryan said about Baz de Lead, you also have the vast experience of Scott Edwards and Wesley Baresi. He's going to be there right at the top five amongst the batting order. These experience, you also always have youth in these small teams, but the experience will definitely be a key factor for the likes of Netherlands. Do you think, Deep?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. They have a good mix of experienced and youth players in their squad. And what they have done is they have added experienced campaigners. For example, you talked about Paul van Meekeren. So he wasn't playing for the Netherlands, but he had a good county stint. Similarly, Ralph van den Merwe, he hasn't been in their ODI setup in the last 2 to 3 years, but he has been playing T20 leagues all around the world, and he had really good. He performed really well for the Sunrisers Eastern Cape. And then similarly, if you look at other guys, so they have been a part of cricket teams around the world, not necessarily Netherlands. And especially if I talk about Cybrand, so he has been a very good campaigner for Cape Cobras. His list three ODIs, he has scored, he has remained unbeaten, and all three are half centuries for them. So he's a really good addition. So if you look at their experienced players, so they have to live up to their expectations, and similarly the young guys. So it's a really good squad in terms of the average age is concerned.
All right. And like we have already had it, our first questions coming up here says that Roller van der Merwe, another player is coming from South Africa to the squad. Do you think he will seal that number 7 and number 8 spot, Aryan? His experience, we all know his
Oh,
talent.
yes. Yes, because don't forget he can whack it. He can give it a good whack and not just the left arm spin. So he's a good batsman also. And Vanda Merwe can float around the order. He's the floater of the team. And see, we'll go into the fixtures later, but they've got first match against Pakistan. And Pakistan has a history of botching matches. So and that is the second game of the tournament. So I won't be surprised if Pakistan botched the match and Netherlands beat them in the first go. So they have a good chance to unsettle the tournament in a way and give a strong message to the teams that okay, we are not pushovers and we are going to come hard at you. And yes, as Rohan is stating, they played Karnataka and they drastically improved from in the second game. They were blown away in the first game, but now they're getting used to the conditions. I'm not too sure why are they playing in Allur because their first game is in Hyderabad, so maybe could have gone to Hyderabad, could have arranged few practices there. But anyways, Indian conditions anyway we'll have. So yeah, we can move forward and then dive more into them.
Definitely. And before we go on to the squads, we have one more fan questions. A very smart selection by calling Ackerman and Van der Merwe. They are vast experience in playing county. Yes, no doubt about that. And we'll move on. We'll definitely come to the playing 11 of the three of us in the near, definitely future. And Aryan, you're talking about in the introduction, you were saying about the history of these two teams. 2003, 7, 11, they have played 11. We remember because it was in India. Uh, did not play in 2015 and 19. You think
Now
that
there's a question: who is the last guy in the South African jersey in the squad? If we can, it's
yeah, it's the one Deep mentioned. It's Deep, is it
Cybrant.
Cybrant? Yeah, it's
Cyber.
he's from South African. Yeah, he's. Can you just give an intro about him, Deep, as you know him deeply, so that the fans know, like what is he? Is he an all rounder or a bowler?
Yeah, so he plays for their western region. So he's the captain. He's an experienced campaigner, 35 years old, plays at number 4 slot. So because here in the Netherlands team they have Bas de Leede who is fixed at 4. So Cybrand can either be there 3 or 5, depending on how they want to use him. And the good thing about him is that he also provides right arm off break, very similar to Aiden Markram. So on a given day, he can give you 7 to 8 overs. And then they also have Bas Delide, so they can just go with four bowlers and these two as all rounders, so they can increase their batting depth. So that kind of flexibility he gives, and his average is more than 45 in list ace, and he's a very good finisher. So 4-4-5 he used to play. So he's a very experienced campaigner, and I'm looking forward to how they use him or if they use him.
Yeah. All right, and Aryan, over to you once again. Talking about the history, do you think 2015 and 19 not being part of the World Cup and coming back strong, hard, as you said about the qualifiers, man, they performed outstandingly in the qualifiers. We'll definitely come back to that. But do you think they will perform way better than we expect them to?
I think they could, and these are alien conditions to them. That's the only thing. Subcontinent. How will they play spin? We really don't know, and it's going to be a test for them. They are up against Shadab Khan and the likes of Mohammad Nawaz in the first game, who are top quality spinners. I don't want to really jinx them because they haven't been in too much of a form.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll have their pace cut out against the Pacers of Pakistan. So there's a good challenge, and we can go into more detail about the performance. But I expect them to give it a fight. That's for sure. I'm not expecting them to lose one-sided, as many people would, but I think they'll give it a fight.
All right, and Deep, your thoughts?
Yeah, especially on the first game, I think I'm kind of rooting for Netherlands to win, not win, give a good fight, as what Aryan said, because the ground is not in favor of either of the team. So if you look at the schedule of Netherlands, so there are 3 games where the ground is not in favor of the opponent. One is the game against Pakistan in Hyderabad, one is the game against Bangladesh in Eden Gardens, and one is the game against India in Bangalore. Here
Yeah.
they can give tough competition to the opponents because the spin won't play that much role in these kind of games, right? And then they have the batters who can whack the pacers on their given day. So I think it's going to be a tough game, and given that Pakistan are usually slow starters, so it will be a huge boost for the World Cup if Netherlands starts the campaign with a win against Pakistan.
Yeah, it will be a one more shock, just like we witnessed Zimbabwe doing it against Pakistan. But Deep, you are coming to the show for the first time. We have started a special thing addition to the marathon this year, and we are receiving enormous amount of feedback, and everybody's loving it. It's all the fans as well. It's the trivia question time. We have 3 quiz questions coming up for you, and it's the first question that is coming up for you. You will get 2 tries. If you get the first one incorrect, you have one more try as well. And even for the fans as well in the comment section. So, Aryan, over to you for the first question.
Okay, so I'll repeat it twice. Who was the leading run scorer and the wicket taker for Netherlands in the World Cup qualifiers? I repeat, who was the leading run scorer and the wicket taker for the Netherlands in the qualifiers? Deep, it's only the names. We don't want the
Yeah.
figures, so you can give it a try.
I think Scott Edwards was the leading run scorer and Bas de Leede was the leading wicket taker.
Oh yes,
All
you got
right.
it right in the first try. So you are the you are
All
you
right.
are the first one
Was
to do
was
that.
anybody okay? So Yash says it was Baz Delete. Absolutely correct. So Deep was just too quick for
Just,
everybody
just, just
to.
give it a quick information. Ramlal is asking Mr. Ramlal tomorrow 12:30 and 12:30 p.m. the warm-up matches शुरू हो जाएंगे 12:30 बजे. So there you go. Sorry
And it
for
will
the
be
interruption, yeah,
live
guys.
telecasted in the Star Sports. It will
Yeah.
be in the Star Sports network, that warm up matches. And like we were saying, Deep was just too quick, and you're absolutely bang on, Deep. It is Scott Edwards and Baz the lead who were the leading run scorer and wicket takers for Netherlands. So we move on to the next question. It is coming up later, but it's the form. It's a recent form. Aryan, over to you first. That is extremely right. I'm sorry. The super over drama against West
Oh,
Indies. Was it
that
Netherlands
was
playing exceptional cricket, or was it completely failure from West Indies?
it was
I don't.
utter nonsense from West Indies. Yeah, Deep, you can go ahead and then I'll add my point.
No, no, you continue, continue. Then I'll add.
Okay, so it was utter nonsense from the West Indies. Okay, first of all, there have been 4 days since we've been doing this. We haven't pointed it out, but it sucks to not have West Indies in the World Cup. Number one, because they add that Caribbean flair and they're so familiar with the Indian conditions. It sucks, right? So, West Indies, you've not done anybody proud, especially the overseas fans. Forget your own fans. So, improve next time. That was a West Indies diss from me. I need to get it out. And then Netherlands, see what they had to do, they did. Okay, they qualified for the World Cup, they made the finals, and these results I won't count too much into them because the real test came against Sri Lanka and they kind of failed in it. So that's where I'm looking at Netherlands playing against the big boys, and T20 is a format where you can win, right? It's only a couple of balls that change the momentum of the game, but this is one day cricket, and that is where Netherlands need to really see. And uh, that's the thing. If they are in the grasp of the game for say 35 overs, or you can say for the 70 overs out of the 100, they are they good enough to sustain that, or will they let the game go? That's the question I want to see. That's the question I want to see being answered in this World Cup. Deep, what about you? You look too much into this, or do you also think that it'll only become clearer in the World Cup if they're capable of the big stage?
Okay, I think is going to be. I agree with what you said. Like they have to live up to their expectations because in a 100 overs game, there are moments when you are at the top, and then there are moments when the opposition is at the top. And the good team is that which handles that kind of pressure and seizes those small moments, right? And I think they have a good captain who knows how to seize those moments, and we have seen that in the world in the qualifiers that his bowling changes were really good. And now with some of the experienced guys coming back into the squad, I think the core group is really strong. It's just that their openers have to deliver, because in the qualifiers also they were really struggling with Max Odoi's form, and Vikramjit was also like
Yep.
on and off. So I think their openers need to give them good start in, especially when the World Cup is in Indian condition. If your openers don't give you a good start, then it's very really hard for the middle order guys to tackle the spin that early in the game. So let's see what happens.
Definitely. And if you see the two games they have lost here, they have won three, which is fantastic job. But they have lost two games, and both are against Sri Lanka. So, like you mentioned out here as well, Deep, that they would won't like if there is a spinning track or a lot of spinners against them, and they will struggle just like Sri Lanka has quality spinners. At least three of them they have, and that's similarly. But they have the squad to perform well, and we expect them to perform well in Indian conditions. And that's the reason why this team cannot be taken lightly. I must tell you, we'll definitely come to the fixtures and see if the grounds are familiar to them or not. But this team cannot be taken for granted. So, Aryan, shall we move on to a second trivia question then? All right, surely. So we'll move on to the second trivia question for all of you as well as Deep. Hope you are once again super quick so that you do not allow the fans to get before you. So it's time for the second trivia question. Aryan, it's over to you once again.
All righty. This is back to the 2011 World Cup, which India won. Who was the the only centurion for the Netherlands in that World Cup. And against whom did he get it? He got two centuries. I'll give you that. And if you name one team right, you're on track. So who was the centurion, and against which teams did he get them?
Is it Tom Moore? No, I think.
Okay.
Is
All
that
right.
your final answer?
One answer.
Is that your final
I
answer?
I think one century was. Oh, no,
Tom
no, no,
Moore,
no.
no.
Okay, my second guess is
Okay.
Ranton
You
Descartes,
just have to wait
and
for. You have to wait for 10 seconds. Okay. You can go
okay,
ahead. You can go ahead.
Ranton
You can go ahead, Deep.
Descartes, and the team was, I think,
Against.
England. England.
All right. You're just a bit slower than Gopal. Gopal says it. He says the figure is well 110, and it's against England, and it is absolutely correct in the 2011 World Cup. Even congratulations to you as well, Deep. It's Ryan Tendishkade against England in 2011 World Cup that he got the century. And who was the other team against Aryan?
It was Ireland. It was Ireland in their last league game.
It was Ireland. All right, it was Ireland and England, the two teams against which Ryan Tendishkade got it. He's some talent. He played for Kolkata Knight Riders, if I'm not mistaken, in the IPL. He was some phenomenal talent, to be honest. Okay, we move on to the fixtures, which we are eagerly waiting to witness. Deep, here we are looking at a lot of games. We're starting with Pakistan and New Zealand in Hyderabad. That will not be much of a problem, I think, in terms of spinning tracks. But do you have Lucknow and Delhi? Lucknow, I don't think so at all. Against Sri Lanka, they will enjoy. But Delhi against Australia, not as joy to watch as well. Afghanistan against at Lucknow, another place they will not enjoy at all. Which are the games you are saying that Netherlands can definitely challenge?
I think the first one against Pakistan, then the game against I was saying the Kolkata game against
Yeah,
Bangladesh, and
yeah.
then the last one against India in Bangalore.
Okay, why don't you see South Africa Dharamsala?
Nah, South Africa is too good this time.
All right, and Aryan for you?
Okay. Okay, but I agree because it's seeming conditions, and maybe Rabada and the company is too much for them. Who knows? But looking at the squad, if I look at their bowling attack, when Meekran is there, right? Then you've got a few pacers in there. How strong is their pace battery? Um, that's the thing, right? So let's see. Let's see. I fancy them beating Pakistan. I don't know. My intuition is saying that they might cause an upset, and Bangladesh also. But England in Pune, England are going to romp them. To be honest, I don't see them winning more than two games, if at all.
Even I would stick to two because I can see the only two games that is at Kolkata against Bangladesh and to an extent the first game against
Okay,
Pakistan. But
there's
we're
a
talking
fan
about
question. We are
Bangladesh.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
talking
there's a
about
fan
Bangladesh, and
question
here
about.
comes a question. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
So, see, the thing is, should not have happened. Two very senior cricketers, two very respected cricketers, be boycott World Cup cricket. Masood Bhai, I think, should not have happened. Hona nahi chahiye tha. I feel bad for both of them. One point is he's not fit, but uh, this is a tussle, and right before, a week before these things come out, and they are in Hyderabad right now. Should not have happened. Deep, just a quick word on the controversy that's going around in Bangladesh cricket.
I added a question out here because what I understood is that Tamim was asked to bat in the middle order if required, and he said he's not going to bat because he is the 17 years he has played for Bangladesh. He wants to only just open. Do you think is that a right statement playing for your country?
Yeah, I think so. As a senior player, you know where you can contribute most to your team, right? So it's like saying to Rohit Sharma that you bat at number 4, where we all know that what he can do at the top of the order. The same thing is with Tamim. We all know what he can do at the top of the order. If he gets going, he can play that long innings. But we also need to see that there is loophole in Bangladesh squad in the middle orders. Right now, they need a stable batter in the middle order, along with Shakib. So Shakib, Tamim, and Mahmudullah could have formed a formidable middle order, but that's not the case here. So I think both of them are right at their point, and some of them had to like give away. And then when two senior players like they argue like this, then it's bad for the team environment. That's why I'm fancying Netherlands' chances against Bangladesh.
All right, that's a very, very important and fair point. We'll move on to the fixtures is done, and next we have the playing 11, which is a very interesting part because most of us have here and there correct. The openers are same for the three of us. The number 3 position, number 4 is also the same. Number 5, Teja is also there in Aryan's team as well. Scott Edwards is there. So me and Aryan has Colin Ackerman, while Deep has Zulfikar in him. Reason behind not having the vast experience of Colin Ackerman, Deep?
So I'm seeing him as a backup batter for number 1, 2, and 3. He can bat anywhere there. And right now, if we look at his current form, it has not been that good in the county that he has played. So that's why I don't have Colin Ackerman in my starting 11. But if something happens to Max O'Dowd's form or Wesley Barisi, then he can definitely come in at number 2 or number 3. And
All
then
right,
the
and then
reason,
we, yep.
yeah, the reason for including Saqib Zulfikar is that he gives you that bowling option. Otherwise, they just have 4 bowlers plus Bas Delide. So Saqib Zulfikar is something who gives them that extra bowling option.
Okay. And then we have the vast experience of Logan Van Beek, a match winner, to be very honest. Van der Marwe is there. Paul Van Meekeren is there for the three of us. No, Deep doesn't have him. Aryan is there. We have Aryan in our show as well. Aryan in the playing 11 as well. But Ryan is there in the playing 11 for Deep reason. What's the role for Ryan? Is he a pacer?
Yeah, Ryan is their prime pacer, so he's their new ball bowler, and he and Logan Van Beek will share the new ball, and then Aryan Dutt is like that slash kind of thing with what you have Paul Van Meekeren. So if you need an additional spinner, you can play Aryan Dutt, or on some of the conditions where they are facing South Africa and HPCA or Australia and Delhi, you can include another pacer.
Okay. All right. Agreed with that. And Gopal has his playing 11 with us as well. Vikram, Maxudod, Baz the lead, Colin Ackerman, Teja, Edwards, Logan Van Beek, Van der Marwe, Paul Van Meekeren. He has Aryan Dutt as well. There you go. There is his slash. He has Ryan or Shariz Ahmed. Deep, can you say a bit about Shariz Ahmed? Is he an all-rounder or is he a
He's
spinner?
Sharish is a spinner. He's a
spinner,
spinner.
yes. Leg break. So I already had Saqib Zulfikar as a leg break bowler in my XI, so I didn't include uh, Shiraz. So Shiraz is very much like Chahal, so he's very in terms of batting abilities, so very poor with batting. So that's why I had Saqib, because he gives you that bowling all rounder kind of thing, and in terms of wicket taking ability, both of them are very similar.
And this team also has batting depth till number 9, to be very honest. So that's a very, very plus big point.
Yeah.
Aryan, if you can see, till Logan Van
So
Beek, they can bat.
so we are batting Mandem away at night, basically, all of us, or
Yeah,
Logan Van Beek. So brilliant depth. It's all about how they manage themselves throughout the 50 overs. With the ball, I still think they can. That's not a problem. They're a safe fielding side as well. They catch well, but with the bat is the question: how long can they do it? But we'll see. And yeah, I think good 11s for all of us. We can move forward.
definitely. And it's time for
And
the
I have a
third
question.
and yeah,
I have a
definitely.
question. Like, if they have to
Yeah,
fit Cybrand, where do you see he will play?
that's an
What does he
important
bowl? He
question. But
bowls
I
Austin or
see if
Yeah. he bats at usually 3 and 4. So, like,
Then for Cybrin to come in, I think Teja has to make way.
yeah.
I think so. Teja is the only option that can make way for Cybrid. Otherwise, I do not see, because yes, Cybrid is somebody who will uh, try to make the playing 11, but it's the form and experience that is key for Netherlands as well. And Scott Edgeworth has to take a few decisions regarding that as well. And we move on to the final trivia question for you, Deep, and for all the fans out here. It's time for the last and final trivia question. I'll not say the question. It's over to you, Aryan, and let's see what happens.
So Deep, who took this catch in the 2020 World Cup, which basically took Pakistan through, and against South Africa, and who was the batsman? Who is this fielder, guys? If you can see, fielder ka naam batao. Who's the fielder? Deep, go ahead.
No idea. No
Okay,
idea.
no idea about the fielder, no idea about the batsman either.
Can you give the batter's name?
I wish I could. That's the other question as well.
Okay, okay, okay.
Oh,
No,
I
no
can give
idea.
you a hint. I can give you a hint. He's from South Africa.
All right, Deepu says it's Baz Day lead. It's no, it's not Baz Day lead that took an excellent catch against South Africa. Deep, one more try. Go ahead. There's nothing to lose.
No, no, no. I like.
Okay, he's
I don't
got
know.
Deepu has sent in an
Okay,
answer. Okay,
Deepu has
Deepu has
sent in
sent
the
in an
batsman.
answer which is right.
So the batsman is correct. Deep, it is, and Deepu, it is
We got
David
the
Miller.
answer. We got
And
the
Deepu,
answer.
exactly. Deep, your second try. Can we take a second try for this, Deep? Any idea? I'll give you a hint for from Netherlands. That player is still part of the ODI T20 ODI squad for 2023 World Cup. Just a wild
Okay.
guess.
So Van Beek. No.
Logan Van Beek, you're saying?
Yeah.
All right. No, that is
No.
not the
Yeah.
answer. The answer is none other than Rolf van der Marwe, who took that magnificent catch in a fine leg to get rid of David Villa. And early on in the morning, we were all like, South Africa choked again, and they did choke again, and Pakistan went through to the semi-finals of the Cricket World Cup 2020, and then eventually, there you go. Shankar says as Rollo van der Marwe, absolutely correct, sir, and it was David Miller who probably hooked the ball, and then he took a blinder of a catch and in a
No,
short fine leg.
he flicked it. He flicked it in the air. He flicked it in the air.
It was a
Yeah,
top
that
edge.
was the thing.
Okay, it was something like that, and that's the reason why. So we move on. It was fantastic three trivia questions. It's the top four predictions. We have almost had 50% of our spots filled. Aryan, remarkable, isn't it?
It is, but the most remarkable thing is Deep has gone down the left road. Uh, he's having, he doesn't have the third most common team. He's knocking them out.
Yeah,
Deep, why are you knocking
he is the
Australia
first
out?
time.
What are your reasons? Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
initially, Australia was definitely one of my top favorites for this particular World Cup. And after Travis Head's injury, that's one of my major concerns for them, because Marsh is hit and miss kind of a guy. And yes, he has played some decent knocks in recent past against India, but he will my guess is that he will choke, and that will kind of bring Smith and Labuschagne under pressure. But given what Maxwell has done yesterday, I'm tempted to change my top four, but I'll go with these only: India, England, South Africa, and New Zealand.
All right, and yes, we definitely do agree with you, Gopal. We had this as well. We were asking you in the same day as well that why did you take off Australia? So you've got another companion with you who doesn't have Australia. Deep, as you do not have Australia, and you said about Travis Head, and today we got a news about Australia saying that they do not have Ashton Agar. So Marnus Labuschagne has replaced Ashton Agar in the squad for Australia. Another spinner not being part of the squad. So it's Maxwell and Zampa being the prime spinners for Australia. Do you think that is another place they will lack a lot?
No, I don't think Agar would have made any difference in this squad either with the bat or with the ball. They would have still given 5 to 6 overs to Agar, and Maxwell would have bowled 5 to 6. But it's their pacers who have been taking wickets for them in any conditions. The trio of Cummins, Hazelwood, and Stark is very lethal, and they will rely on that. Plus one of Stoinis and Green, and now Maxwell has done really well. So I think it's a really good squad, and they are believing in their pace battery. So in terms of bowling, they are set, and I don't think Agar would have made any difference. It would have been interesting had they brought in Tanveer Sangha in place of Ashton Agar, but like Labuschagne is a very tactical decision because they want to keep head in the squad.
Yeah, it could be. But Alex is an interesting pick here, and I would want Aryan to have an intervene out here. Aryan, two Asian teams, two Sena teams. No Pakistan, no world champions England in his picks. Say something about that.
Very interesting. I think he thinks that baseball or mott ball, as I call it, Matthew Mott, won't work in Indian conditions. So very interesting pick, very odd pick. But yeah, this is why we love the fans. They have their own thinking. India, Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan. Yes, Deepu, we are aware of that. And yeah, Krishna Gopal will soon be given New Zealand citizenship. Best comment of Best comment. That's what we were waiting
All
for.
right.
Thank you, Shankar sir.
All right, jokes apart, we were always going to be there saying about New Zealand, England, Australia. But my question for you, Deep, is that Sri Lanka, have not mentioned them much. They love Asian conditions. Do you think missing Hasaranga will affect them a lot in terms of the balance?
I don't think so. I think Velalage has done really well, and even if Hasranga was present, I would have still played Velalage and Hasranga both. And it's a good thing that Hasranga is now not a part, because now Velalage clearly knows that he's their prime spinner. They have full confidence in him, and he'll play all the games. And that's a good thing with spinners if they know that, okay, I'm the key wicket taker for the team, right? And he will definitely deliver. And most of the teams have not seen him that much compared to Hasaranga. So that's another plus that goes in favor of Velalage compared to Hasaranga.
Yeah. All right. And we
Yeah,
move on to
and
the
now we
next.
move on to deep searches. Okay, why is everyone except for Yatharth? I think we are jinxing so Shubman Gill a lot here, which we don't want to do. But KG Rabada, you're supporting me. You're also a converted Punjab fan, so that's good. So he got battered in the IPL. So how are you expecting that guy to show up in India? What are your reasons to plug in KG Rabada in here?
Look, the most highest wicket taker will be that bowler in whose team there won't be other bowlers performing that well. So, had Nokia not been injured, I wouldn't have picked Kagiso Rabada here. Because Nokia is not there, I'm expecting Rabada to get more wickets. So that's why then there's Jansen and there's Kotse and all. But in that bowling lineup, the ace of the pack will be Kagiso Rabada, and he'll get a lot of wickets. So that's why I'm going with Rabada. In other teams, the wickets will get divided.
Okay. That's absolutely a fair point. So Rabada, Siraj, Afridi. So three pacers we have and three spinners we have out of the six people we have already picked. So it's even Stevens, but it's all Indian batsmen apart from Yadath who has Joe Root, but it's all Indian openers who are constantly being there in one of our picks. Says Deepu says Keshav Maharaj is a weapon in the South African side. Absolutely, he is definitely. I think Keshav Maharaj will be ahead of Shamsi in terms of the playing 11. Deep.
In some of the games, they can play both of them, but In most of the games where they are playing, they'll mostly go with one spinner, and then Makram will do
Yeah,
the remaining part.
yeah, sure that. And Aryan, once again, I need your reaction to the final slide. No changes once again here.
That's why I'm not even looking at it.
It is there's no complete change here. All of us want just one team bring the trophy home who have just reached Guwahati today and is going to stay there for the next few days because of the
we
warm-up
have
games and
some
stuff.
we have some big news. We have some big news. We can move to it. Uh, uh,
Absolutely. We'll
yeah,
definitely come there because there's no changes so far in terms of the winners for the Cricket World Cup 2023. But we'll come out here and talk about the big news. Deep, we'll start with you. Did you see this coming? If yes, how satisfied are you?
Uh, Tactically, it's a good decision because it gives you flexibility that if Jadeja is not delivering with the bat, then you can bring in Ashwin in some games in place of Jadeja, not at number 8. And then you can have Shardul at 8 so that it deepens your batting lineup. And plus, you can float Ashwin up and down depending on the conditions. And then Ashwin can also be a part at 8 with Jadeja and Kuldeep. So that's another flexibility that it gives you. And with Akshar Patel, the thing was if in a tough game, if your 5, 6, 7 doesn't perform, then it's Akshar Patel who performs, right? But again, compared to Ashwin, like Akshar is kind of weak in terms of bowling abilities, but Ashwin has developed new kind of ball that we have seen in Labuschagne's dismissal in the recent ODI series. So I think, but again, we have to also see the fielding side of it, that Ashwin is a weaker fielder compared to Akshar. So overall, it's like I would say it's a mixed kind of thing, but it gives you some flexibility that you can use your different options at 7 and 8. You can mix and match.
Yeah, definitely. But would you go with playing three spinners on surfaces like Delhi, Chennai with Kuldeep, Akshar, Jaddu, three of them? Aryan?
yeah, Ashwin is not going to play all the matches for you, so he's going to play on turning tracks. That's my hint, and he's going to start off in Chennai and then see forward, and then go to Delhi as well, which we play Afghanistan. So he's going to play the first two matches for sure, dead sure, and then we see. But there's another inclusion, Marnus Labuschagne or Marnus Labuschagne, whatever you want to call him. He's been replaced. Ashton Aga has been dropped from the Australian squad, and Travis Head is still there. So Deep, is he going to get those leggies also out? Do you see him bowling in this World Cup? Forget his batting because we all know how he bats, but let's talk about his bowling.
I don't think they'll need Labuschagne to bowl. I think that would be the worst day for Australia if they need Smith and Labuschagne to bowl, and it will be definitely a high-scoring game. But Maxwell is doing a great job. So Maxwell and Zampa are more than decent enough for them. But I think it's good to have that kind of flexibility because they had Travis Head who used to give some overs for them, so they had that kind of flexibility. So it's good to have that flexibility, but it's not necessary to use that in every game.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely correct. Bang on the and I couldn't agree more to your points you have shared in the past 44 minutes. It's time for the conclusion. Thank you so much, Deep, once again for being part of us. We would just want to hear a couple of words from you. How much did you enjoy being a part of this session for 45 minutes?
I think it was a great discussion with you all, and I really enjoyed the trivia sessions. I hope you do, do that more often, and looking forward to the World Cup post-match analysis and pre-match analysis if you guys are planning to do that. And especially there was a lot of discussion regarding playing 11, and it's good to see that we have at least 9 out of 11 players common. So that means the team is settled, and most of our predictions are also like somewhat similar in terms
Leighton
of
Das बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है. So no, so he's not informed. That's the thing. That's what this guy is trying to say. Just want to take the question. And yeah, his form is a bit concerning. But Masood Bhai, tomorrow is Bangladesh, so you come and join us.
Definitely. Yeah, Deep, I'm sorry to cut you. You were saying something.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the World Cup and more discussion with you guys. So thanks for inviting. I really, really enjoyed this show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for us. And Shankar sir says, going by current form, Ashwin will score more runs than Shardul, bowling overs and taking more wickets than the Lord. He's not been the best of forms, is Ashwin and Shardul Thakur, but we have to go with conditions. Rohit wants batting depth. So in the surfaces like Wankhede or stuff, I won't be surprised if Shardul gets a nod in the number 8 position. But right then, it's time for the end. It is marathon number 4. Day 4 is completed. It's Netherlands. We are done. Tomorrow it's day 5, and it's none other than Bangladesh. And we're going to talk about a lot of things to discuss because this team is not in the right frame of mind, as we have discussed in this show as well. And many of the fans are even saying the same. Tomorrow, sharp 9 p.m., day 5 of the marathon, we have Bangladesh, just like Aryan's green screen is this. It's the same color like that. But definitely do join us. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire and the Direct Hit for more updates. Tomorrow, day 5 of marathon, sharp at 9 p.m. Till then, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Deep. It's good afternoon to you and good night from all of us out here. Till then, bye bye. Good night. Thank you.